And in other news, 2 federal agents involved in the fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen in Minneapolis have been placed on leave.
The immigration raids in the city, they've continued, even as Trump administration is trying to quell the backlash from the shootings. Alex Pretti, who was shot and killed most recently on Saturday in an incident which has sparked protests across the city. The Department of Homeland Security has revealed that the 2 agents who allegedly shot him are on administrative leave now since the incident. The DHS emphasized that it is standard protocol in such shootings.
While facing backlash over Pretty's shooting, President Donald Trump has vowed to de-escalate. But his immigration enforcement crackdown in the state showed no signs of slowing down.
Immigration enforcement operations and confrontation with activists continued in Minneapolis and St. Paul. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced new arrests for rioters who she claimed were assaulting federal law enforcement on the ground. A video showed people being pepper sprayed and at least 1 person being detained.
And the agents also had an exchange with journalists who were covering the incidents. When the journalists got out of their car, agents pushed one of them and threatened them with arrest and told them to get back in their car despite their identifying themselves as media.
We were eventually pushed back into our vehicle and told that if we left, we'd be arrested. We could kind of see what was happening up the block in front of us. At least 1 person was detained, another person was pepper sprayed, and a vehicle was left with a broken window. At least 1 vehicle was left parked with a broken window.
Protests are also taking place in Texas, where a Minnesota man and his young son are being held by immigration officials. Demonstrators rallied, banging drums, chanting and holding signs outside the South Texas Family Residential Center in Dilley. As protesters moved closer to the facility, Texas state police officers detained many of them, and some of the officers then deployed pepper balls, dispersing the crowd.
Meanwhile, calls are growing against U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and a growing number of voices, both Democrats and Republicans, have raised concerns about Noem's leadership.
She clearly doesn't know how to manage. She's never managed a large organization, and she's failing at every possible measure of the job.
She needs to be held accountable for her actions. This is why I introduced 3 articles of impeachment against Secretary Noem.
President Trump gave no indication her job is in jeopardy, and Noem seemed to have his backing, at least for now. That's what it seems.
I think she's doing a very good job.